we have identified, or we're going to identify students and put them into basically 4 groups of students. In each group will represent 25% of the population of the school. And we did this on purpose, that we have different tracks based off of the guidance from the CDC, the Virginia Department of Education, the governor, and the Rappahannock Area Health District, that if we have to change course in a plan based off of whatever's going on at that point, we have students pre-identified into groups, and we could then subdivide again to bring the capacity down if we had to, and even further in the buildings. So that's available, and we'll get through the different plans here in a second. Also, we have tracks available for what we're going to call 100% parallel distance learning, and any student that is uncomfortable coming to school, any student that has a pre-existing medical condition or lives with a family member that they do not want to expose to this, whatever the reason, they will always have the option to distance learn from home in a parallel track to the students at school. So so that will always be available. In addition to that, there are students out there with specific needs, and we will also have 80 to 100% in-person instruction available for them as well. So there is the wide range there that catches both ends of the spectrum, being the majority, we're assuming at this point, will be the ones that come to school on the staggered schedule. So let's get to the reopening calendar. So Virginia, and I believe we're going to be in phase 3. I think that was announced. While in phase 3, our goal will be to maintain the buildings at 50% capacity. To do this, we will combine groups A and B, and we have 4 groups, A, B, C, and D. We'll combine groups A and B together and C and D together for what we're going to call a track hybrid learning model. And we'll have deep cleaning days in between the transition of the groups. And I know that this isn't the best graphic in the world, but as we were going through the different models, we had to output calendars quickly and see if they would work. So I know that this is a lot to look at on your screen, but basically the green represents days in school and the white represents days out of school. Each one has an A and a B on it at the secondary level, 6 through 12 level, because they sometimes have classes on alternating days. The high school has classes on alternating days throughout their schedule. So they have an A-B schedule anyway. And the way this schedule works is that each group, 2 groups, A, B, C, D, will attend for 2 days. We'll do a deep cleaning on the blue line, which is usually the middle of the week, and then we'll do Thursday, Friday. There are some days that are shortened weeks, and we'll schedule that with the custodians that they'll do the deep cleaning that evening, but we don't want too many days of overtime or late work, so we tried to minimize that throughout the calendar where it made sense, but we did have a few of those weeks in there, especially during Labor Day, where the state has the law that was still in effect that we have to take the Friday and the Monday off around Labor Day. So we ended up making each one of those a 2 or 4 day week, and the deep cleaning will be on the Tuesday or the Wednesday night on each of those weeks. And then that way we're not forcing our custodians to work too many late nights and overtime when we have those deep cleanings. But the rest of the calendar worked out fairly well throughout that. You will notice that the secondary schools, especially the high school, grades 9 through 12, as soon as Labor Day's over, they do change their schedule. And the reason for that is that they requested longer time with their students, and then they were able to have longer periods off. It would also stagger it so that if childcare was needed by an older sibling, it would be less that way, that they would be able to work around the schedule a little bit better, and they would be able to watch a sibling maybe more often that way, rather than being on the same schedule or they would always be off at the same time. And I'll zoom in a little bit just to give you a little bit more detail on that. So here is kindergarten through 5th grade. They would attend 2 days, Monday, Tuesday, first day of school, second day of school. Everyone would be off that day we'll do distance learning that day. And then groups C and D will come in on the Thursday, Friday, and that will persist throughout the school year.